Talking confidence levels, it is a call-in show, Locked On Badgers. If you have your thoughts, call on in. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for being an everydayer, for being part of this community. If you want to jump in this show, this is a community show here, so we're going to do a live call-in show. I'm going to put the link in the chat. It's also on Twitter. If you want to dial into the show, dial in. Let's talk confidence levels. I want to hear your confidence levels. I got some of my own. I also am going to put that link in the chat right now. So if anybody wants to dial in, just got to have your camera on. Make sure, I just got to make sure nobody's like shirtless or driving or any sorts of craziness. But yeah, dial into the show if you want to. Let's hear your confidence level. Let's start here. I got a couple that I'm going to throw out. And when I say confidence level, 0 to 10, just where are you at on this team right now? 0 to 10. Give me your number and give me your reasoning. I got a couple random confidence levels. My buddy was throwing some my way, and I thought, oh, some of these are good. I'm going to throw these on the show. My first one is confidence level on the passing game being better. I think I'm at an 8. Now, like 1 out of 10, he didn't give me like a number of what better means, but better than last year. I'm almost sure of this one. This one is like an 8 or 9 for me. I think Billy Edwards is better than what we had last year. I think our backup quarterbacks are better than what we had last year. I think it's an 8 or 9 for me. Oh, we already got Landon in the chat. Been on the show before. What's up, my friend?
How's it going?
Good, dude. Give me your confidence level, 0 to 10 football team right now.
I'm probably at like a 6.5. If you would ask me last year where I'd be at, I'd probably be at like a 8 or a 9. But I'm just in such a show and prove it to me mode right now that it's just hard for me to get hyped up about it. I mean, and I have been like with all the camp stuff you're reading about and seeing on YouTube and everything. It's hard not to, but we've been talking about it all offseason. The schedule just has got me in not a right spot to be, over the moon.
So 6.5, which is still, that's better than average. Again,
That's true.
Let me throw you a couple random ones that I've written down. You give me your quick number on these. You ready?
Oh yeah.
Confidence level that the passing game is going to be better.
Oh yeah.
0 to 10.
It's got to be better. I mean, Braden Locke at the bottom of the conference last year. And I mean, Billy Edwards, even though he came from Maryland, he was second in passing yards, right? I believe in the Big Ten last year with a terrible offensive line, which he talked about, that Maryland program just not that good. And I think he's going to have better weapons on the outside with Vinny Anthony and Jalen Ballard and Tretch. I mean, it has to be better. If that isn't better, we got a huge problem ahead of us.
Agreed. I went 8 or 9 on that one. I think it has to be. I'm going to give you one more, then Family Man Ty's in the queue, going to jump him on. Confidence level in the backup quarterback situation. If Billy Edwards Jr. was to go down.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. And, honestly, I didn't feel terrible about that last year. I mean, Locke was in. He had to go in when Tanner Mordecai was out 2 years ago. And I felt like, okay, at least Locke has some experience. But with the backup now, he's had a whole season starting at San Diego State. So I feel a lot better about that in what his experience that he's bringing, even though we've seen that those two that are fighting for it right now are kind of in a battle, which I know you talked about could be a little bit of a question mark. Is that a good thing? Even though when he's coming in from San Diego State, like we thought for sure he was going to be the backup. So are they battling out? Is that a good or a bad thing? But I would say it's definitely higher.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say I think it's a bad thing because I don't think we have 3 good quarterbacks. I don't think it's a matter of like we have so many good quarterbacks we can't find the depth chart. I think it could be a little bit of O'Neal. I don't know. Maybe Simmons is better than I thought he was. So I will say that.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go, man. Landon, thank you for jumping on. We got Family Man Ty coming up next. Let's do a show this week.
Yeah. Hit me up.
Let's do it. Landon's a great people, man. Family Man Ty coming on the show, friend of the Discord. And what is going on?
How you doing, Ryan?
Good, dude. Thank you for calling in. Give me your confidence level, 0 to 10 football.
It's at a 7, I would say.
Okay.
And I say 7 because I believe in the offensive philosophy, and I believe that us moving to the ground and pound, we're going back to the ground and pound. It will keep us in a lot of games. Us eating up clock, the running game, having a manageable passing game. Uh, it'll keep us in a lot of games. I think we can use that as an advantage against a lot of teams that may have other advantages. So that puts me back. That puts me like around a 7.
7's good, man. Give me your biggest thing you're worried about.
Depth. The young corners, they're talented, but they're young. So in the O line, the O line is getting kind of scary. And I hear you. Maybe we should have maybe picked up another one um, when we had that time to do it. But yeah, pretty much depth.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Let me throw you a couple random confidence level questions. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Confidence level 0 to 10. Wisconsin beats one of the big 4: Michigan, Bama, Ohio State, or Oregon.
6.
Oh, I love it. So I'm lower than that. Like but they should be able to beat one of. Like, you get Ohio State at home, Oregon at home. Is it Michigan on the road? Which one do you circle there? Do you think is most likely?
I think Michigan is the safe bet. I think we can maybe trip up Ohio State at home. I think we can.
Let me ask you this, dude. Where are you calling from, by the way?
I'll say in Dallas.
Oh, yes. Let's go. How'd you become a Badger fan? What was your Badger fan origin story?
I'm from Milwaukee. So I grew up being a Badger fan. I became a Badger fan around the time PJ Hill and those teams were coming along. I remember my first Badger game. We got crushed by like Penn State or something, and I was like, oh, we got to do better, And I played against John Clay in high school. And when he committed to the Badgers, that's when I was really like, okay, they got them a real good guy, and I want to watch him. So that's when my fandom really took off. And I'm one of those Badger fans. I'm on the edge of the couch, my heart beating 100, 1,000 times a second, So yeah, I'm one of those diehards. I'm just in Texas.
Dude, I love it, man. You're also on the Discord. Real quick question. Then we got Robert and our good friend of the show, our Sorensen in the chat. Love him. I saw Matt pop in. He popped out. What was John Clay like in high school? Did you tackle him? Did you get hit by him? What was that like?
I was on special teams. So I dodged that. But man, just as big, he was that same size. He was 230, 6'1", 230 in high school when he played for Racine Park.
Dude, you gonna be able to make it to any games this year, or yes or no? Hopefully.
I'm just came back from Milwaukee today. I went back to Wisconsin for a family reunion, so that maybe ate up my chance to get back. I'm really trying to make it back for a Brewers World Series. If that's what I'm trying to make it back for.
Yeah, I love it. Brewers fans in the chats. Family Man Ty, dude, thank you for jumping in. Please do it again. Would love to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
Appreciate you, man. Rob, we're going to take one quick break, friends of the show. You're going to be up next. Matt, I know you were in the queue. I don't know where you went, but jump back in if you want. Again, if you're listening to this, we got quite a few people watching. If you want to call in, do it. Well, the link is in the chat. Call in. Give us your thoughts. This is the community show. We got comments, optimism, or pessimism. I got accused of being too pessimistic the other day, so I don't know. We'll get into all that more. Please call in if you want to, or if you just want to chill and listen, that's perfectly cool as well. Today's episode brought to you by our great friends over at Prize Picks. Coming back, Prize Picks is phenomenal. If you want to spice up some of what you're doing this year from the daily fantasy perspective, Prize Picks lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is already heating up. Like I said, college football's not that far behind. And all you're doing is you're picking more or less on 2 to 6 players. That's what Prize Picks is, stat projections. You can do, more touchdowns on Saquon Barkley, more passing yards on Joe Burrow, whatever it is. It is really, really fun. It's simple. It's easy. The payouts are really quick. I've used it for a few seasons. I've actually used this for a few seasons, and it's just really simple, which I need simple. Like, I'm a pretty simple guy in general. Download the Prize Pick apps today. Use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, run your game. Today's episode also brought to you by my great friends and our great friends over at Drip Drop. Drip Drop is incredible. My kids love it. This is the hydration solution to keep you going. And listen, whether you're doing workouts, a daily podcast, whether you're in the corporate world, whatever you're doing, you got to stay on top of your body game, and your body game, it's got to be hydrated. So go over to Drip Drop, doctor developed, scientifically proven way to get all your electrolytes, glucose, but with half the sugar of those leading drinks. Right now, Drip Drop is offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first order. Just head to dripdrop.com, use promo code LOCKEDONCollege. That's dripdrop.com, promo code LOCKEDONCollege for 20% off. Stock up now before the summer continues to get too hard, before the school season starts, before college starts, before whatever. Before the football season starts and we're in Camp Randall, you're going to need some electrolytes before you get into some of those games. Trust me on that. Over to dripdrop.com. All right, let's keep going here. Let's get our good friend Robert Sorensen in the chat, man. Rob, we haven't done a call-in show in a while.
Yeah, no, it's been a while, but I'm ready for this one. I saw this one pop up on the Discord, and I said, I told my wife, I said, hey, I got a live show on tonight. So,
dude, I love it, man. I love seeing you. First of all, thank you for always jumping into the football. You know the drill. Football confidence level 0 to 10.
All right, I got it at 5.75 is what I got it at, and I got it broken down because last year I knew you'd be like, well, why is that? So I got it broken down. Offense, I got passing, rushing, and O-line. So possible 1.5 points. And then defense, it's rush, pass, and pass rush. And then I got special teams for 1. So passing, I got it at 1 point there. Rushing, I got 1 point there. O-line, 0.75, kind of brought down by the injuries there. Then defense, I got the rush defense at 0.75. Pass coverage at a 1. Pass rush 0.75 because we haven't seen it. And then special teams, because of the field goals last year, I got at 0.5. So that's what brings me to my 5.75.
What would you have to see the first 2 weeks to get you up to a 7 heading into Bama? Like what needs to come out of those first 2 weeks for you?
I think the biggest thing is O-line. Probably they gotta prove it there for me. I think that could go up. And then I think your rush defense, I think those are the biggest ones there, and special teams too. I'd say those are the biggest areas of improvement, just because Vacos last year, it's like he started missing them. I used to have a lot of confidence in him, and that kind of got brought down. I know on the camp they've kind of talked that it's gotten a little bit better in the competition there, so I'm excited there. But it's one of these things where you got to see it. Same with pass rush, like Reiger. It's like I'm excited for him, but he hasn't he's put it on film with Louisville, like kind of saw him when I was looking at a different draft guy. So definitely saw him pop just there at Louisville, but he's got to do it at Wisconsin in the Mike Tressel defense.
Yeah. And a couple people asked me, man, you hit on a good point, I think. And as Probst, you're going to be up next, and Badger for Life 48 got you guys in the queue. Someone else said something about, man, Vacos has looked really good in Platteville. And I just don't care until it's in front of people.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Like, I know he can hit 45 yarders with no pressure. I got to see it in front of people because last year it wasn't consistent enough, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, special teams, I almost gave 0.75 just because, the punter was the MVP of the first game last year. But if that happens again, my confidence level actually goes down, not up. So
let me throw you one of these random confidence level questions I got from my buddy. Confidence level in the inside linebackers being the stars of the defense. A lot has been talked about Allegro, Tackett Curtis. Confidence level in that duo.
That's like an 8 out of 10 there.
Okay.
I mean, just because I like Allegro and I'm my boy Tackett, I've been wanting him ever since high school. So like I can't hate on him, and I like the depth behind that too. I mean, that's a big thing there too. So
I love, man. Robert, as always, dude, you are most welcome at the Locked On Badgers Lounge.
Yep.
So whenever we're doing this, jump in. We're going to talk in the Discord more, I'm sure. Probst, let's get you on the show, man. Give me the confidence level, 0 to 10, Badger football.
Yeah, I have kind of an awkward 5, I would say. I'm in the middle, and I really feel like either the bottom's going to fall out for the season or it's going to be way better than any of us anticipate. I think a lot of that's just going to be how much like the culture actually sticks this year. I think there's been a lot of talk about culture, and I don't know if that is actually like fully taken root yet. I don't think we're going to know until we see it.
Let me ask you this, and this is a tough question to ask, and I think the portal era skewed some of it. should we still be, and I don't know, I'm not putting you on the spot on this, I promise, but I've been thinking about this the last couple of days. Should we still be talking about culture 3 years into a new coach is scheme, system, program, or should we be? Because every year is a little different culture with the transfer portal. I don't really know.
So I do think sometimes it's a little bit more difficult if you don't have like a organizational philosophy on the offense and defense that mirror each other. I think it's harder to set up that culture. And I think that's my biggest hope for this year is that if you have that and it's like, look, we are a tough team, like we're going to be tough. I think they're going to do really well. If they're not tough, the beginning part of the schedule through the first 8 weeks is going to break them. And I don't know if you recover from that. That's why I think that you have downside of being just a morally beat down team by the time you get to the last 4 games of your schedule. The flip side's true too, though. If you do have that toughness, I think you're going to win some games. We have more talent than we've displayed the last 2 years. And at the end of the day, I think we have more. Like, if you are tough, you're going to be able to run on Illinois' defensive line. Their defensive line isn't that good. And I think that's true. The Indiana guy said, like, hey, we have some questions on our defensive line too. If we're tough, and health factors in, but if we're tough, I think we're going to be able to run over all the last 4 games on our schedule. It'd be a big swing.
I do think, to your point, it's a great point, man. It felt like we quit in the Minnesota game and the Iowa game. It did. It did feel like we quit in those games. And I think if you talk to, they probably wouldn't say it on record, but I think a lot of people in that locker room and that staff would probably agree with that. Give me a player that you're most excited to see this year. Week 1, who are you like glued onto?
It's both the young running backs. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see kind of how they fit the scheme and them being used in different ways. I think, we kind of, at least I've heard a lot about like eye candy on offense. And the eye candy only works if you're afraid of the running back to a certain degree, right? Because it's like, well, yeah, they're probably going to hand it to the receiver on the jet sweep because I'm not afraid of the middle. Well, if you're going to get gashed by like a Dupree or Dylan Jones or whoever across the middle or to the side, whatever it is, it's just going to open it up for everybody else. So that's really who I'm excited to see. And I also think that's our best chance to like have somebody that's on a national spotlight is if we have that running back. And I think that would do Wisconsin a lot of good.
That's actually a really good point you brought up that I haven't really heard phrased that way. It's the complementary football that we've talked about a lot, but it's also the dynamics of the running back adding into everything else that's going on. If you have a dude at running back, then that jet sweep is going to gash people. It's a really good point that I haven't heard phrased that way. Man, Probst, great stuff. Dude, thank you for jumping in. I know you've been a part of this community. Thank you for jumping on the show, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Man. On Wisconsin. We got Badger Fan for Life coming up next. Again, if you want to jump in, some people filtering into the live show. This is a live call-in show. So if you want to jump in, I'm going to put the invite in the chat. We had a few people drop in and then they dropped out. So Matt and I think we had Northwoods in there as well. So if you want to jump in, links in the chat. If you don't, that's cool too. We got to take one more quick break. Badger Fan for Life, you are up after the break. And then we're just going to get into all of your chat questions and comments. Plus I have a few more things to jump into. So a loaded show today. Really do appreciate everybody for tuning in. We have a new friend of the show today over at Open Phone. Open Phone is a game changer if you have a business. And what it does, so how many times have you called a service business, whether it's a plumber, an electrician, whatever it is, and you haven't got the answer, right? They couldn't help you because they didn't answer the phone. So you just moved on to the next one. You don't keep calling the same person. When you need help, you just keep going until you find the right person. If you're running a business, every missed call is money left on the table. Think about what I just said. If you need somebody to come out, you need to get a hold of somebody. Right now, Open Phone is the #1 business phone system designed to streamline and scale your customer communications. See why over 60,000 businesses trust Open Phone, and they're offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedoncollege. That's openphone.com/lockedoncollege. You'll even port over your existing numbers for free. Again, this will be a game changer for your business. Don't miss those calls that are going to generate you more money and more continual customers. Open Phone No missed calls, no missed customers. Okay, let's get Badger Fan for life, man. Thank you for being patient. Again, if anybody else wants to jump in the queue as well. What is up, man? Give me your football confidence level, 0 to 10.
8.
I love it. Let's go.
So I went to the spring showcase and I saw you in Platteville.
Dude, you got the helmet, which was incredible.
Yeah. So I think leaving spring, you knew the QB room was better. Just they're more mobile, more accurate than Locke was by themselves. So 8. So I think this is an 8-win team if everything goes correctly.
So you're the most optimistic guy we've had on the show today, which I love. What is the one thing that worries you? I mean, if there is one thing that worries you, what might that be?
Offensive line right now with all the injuries.
That's it.
I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see these first 2 weeks, and hopefully we're healthy by Bama. But
yeah, offensive line. So I'm going to ask you this too. I'm going to throw my number out there. One of my kind of random confidence levels was confidence level in the offensive line depth. I have that as like a 3 for me.
Probably rough around the same. And it just comes to not being experienced with this schedule. Like, you have to go to Alabama, which is already going to be it's a hard place for the SEC team to go play. Now you have to have these kids who have not much experience going down there. So it'll be a tough place to play.
Yeah, I would have it even lower. I'll be honest, I'd have it even lower, but I like the coaches in that room a lot. I like Coach Blas a lot, and I trust him to make the most of whatever. But there's not a lot of bodies, man, and they've already had some injuries. That spot worries me. No, Michigan just lost a 5-star tackle. I don't know if you're in the chat or if anyone's seen that. They lost a guy that was going to be a big part for them. Like, injuries are a part of football, but man, that offensive line needs to be healthy.
Yeah, and then so the guy that said like he thinks Michigan could be the upset, I think it's going to be Oregon.
Okay.
So, I mean, we were one pick away from almost getting the field goal range last year. So, and the Oregon just lost their star receiver for the year.
It's true. It's
and
true.
By then, we're going to play in Tuscaloosa and the Big House. So, I don't think crowd noise is going to be much of a factor.
Let me ask you this. Will Hanna, a good friend of the show, said winning record confidence level. He's at a 4. You already said, like, you're at an 8. In the chat, where are you guys at? Winning record. Do you think in the chat, do you think it's going to be 7 wins, 8 wins? Will Hanna's a little down on the team today. Let me ask you this, man. One more question here. Which player are you most looking forward to see week 1?
Oh, Rieger.
That dude's good.
So, I mean, he reminds me a lot of the Watts. Like, he's going to be the guy that's going to probably get double teamed a lot. So, well, I think he's going to make a massive impact for this defense this year.
Dude, I love it. And they're going to need it because I think he needs to be the star of that front 7. I think there's a lot of strong pieces, but he's the difference maker, I think, potentially. All right, man, dude, thank you for jumping on. Dude, it's great to meet you in person, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
And it's awesome to see you virtually again. Oh, we lost him. I was saying goodbye. Good dude, though. I got to meet him in person. He has a sick Badgers helmet, got a ton of awesome autographs on it. So that was awesome to meet him. All right, let me throw a couple of my other random optimism or pessimism level questions in here. And in the chat, you guys let me know. I missed some of the chat questions or thoughts because I didn't want to not pay attention to the awesome guests we had. I think there's an element of, if you're going to put your time onto this show, like, I'm going to focus on that. But if you have any other questions or thoughts now, put them in the chat. Matthew Anderson says Riger. Yeah, that's just like his battle cry, man. If he goes into battle, that's what he's going to be screaming, Riger Tiger. And I love it. That dude is so good. All right, a couple of my other random ones. Confidence level, Eugene Hilton Jr. playing a significant role this year. So significant role to me, meaning we're not talking about special teams. We're talking 3rd and 7, he's going to be in there in some 3 receiver sets. You know, he's going to be catching 20, 30 passes. I have this at like a 9. I think Neza. Thank you, brother. Like Legos, we're sticking together, my guy. Yeah, downstream Wallen, 9. I think he's just too smooth. He's too big. He's too polished. I rarely saw him drop the ball in the practices I was able to see in Platteville. There's other receivers who had some issues with drops. I don't think it's a lock. Again, we got a 10 in here from the Hoogs. He's going to jump somebody and start. I don't think it's a lot because he is a true freshman, but he's a true freshman with pedigree. I think it's like a 9. So a lot of confidence in here. Evan Malone says 9. Geldon, Jason says 9. Jim says 7 on Hilton. Badger Pack Sports says 8. Yeah, it is a pretty consensus. Chip, a good friend of the show, man. I love Chip. Chip's a great dude. Says Gene will be getting split time with Ballard by the Michigan game. I also think this is a little reflective of we didn't see as much consistently from Jaden Ballard in fall. And I don't know why that fully is. You know, I understand certainly that the secondary has seen a lot of these routes, but if you're a 6'2 guy with that type of speed and athleticism, you should be consistently making plays. And maybe this is a little bit of why we didn't see him explode at Ohio State. Like, still a valuable piece. Don't write him off, but I think we saw Hilton ascend a little bit, and maybe some of the other pieces not able to elevate their spring practices, right? Not able to continue to build on what they did in spring, talking about a Jaden Ballard. So yeah, not to belabor the point of Eugene Hilton Jr., but I'm at like a 9 for that. Let's see. Bo Dragon says Hilton could be the star Pauling was supposed to be. Will Hanna has Hilton at an 8. Yeah. Coach McCrabby says, I'm optimistic for this year. I have a 7 confidence level for this year. I believe the addition of Billy Edwards, more D-line help, receivers, Grimes, 8 and 4. Let's go. Dude, I love it. Nothing would make me happier. I got called so pessimistic the other day. I think by Family Man Ty. Great dude, by the way. Like, it was awesome to have him come on the show. It's the offensive line, y'all. Like, it worries me. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's not an issue. Nothing would make me happier. I would much rather be wrong about it, and this Badger team is great. I don't love the depth there. Let's get a couple more of these confidence levels. I talked about the confidence level in the passing game getting better. I'm at an 8 on that. Confidence level in I just dropped off for a second there, but I think I'm back. I apologize if I didn't. Confidence level on the defense generating pressure consistently in the Big Ten. Doc says O-line will be fine. Dude, I hope so. And you would know better than I would. I hope so. Matthew says, where'd you go? I think I'm still here. Matthew says 9 on the defense pressure. Downstream says 7.5. Neza says 4. I have it down as a 7. Is that crazy? I don't think so. I think it's dependent on Riger being healthy. I think if Riger's healthy, this team is going to generate pressure. I think the combination is there. Realist says -3. Bo Dragon says 0. Gosh, maybe I'm too optimistic. I don't know. I think Riger's been the potential star. I think Christian Allegro has been a potential star. Then you have a bunch of bodies that can eat blocks. Cheeks can win off the edge. I like what Nicholas Clayton could potentially do. Tyrese Fearby looked good to me. I think I'm at a 7, maybe a 6. Chip Bird's at a 5. Yeah, BPS is at a 6. Okay, let's get a couple more of these other ones I have in here. For the confidence in the back of quarterback situation, I went a 5. I don't know if you guys were able to throw your numbers in the chat for that one. Again, I think it's a little worrisome that there's still a bit of a battle there, but maybe I'm totally possible I'm reading too much into that. My next one here was confidence in kicking. We already talked about that one. Let me give you this one. Confidence in Lance Mason being a replacement and then some for Tanner Koziel. That was another one I had written down. What's your confidence level 0 to 10 in Lance Mason being better or as good as Tanner Koziel was supposed to be? Evan Malone saying 7.5. Mark Benson, if the offense line is fine, we will run, or we will be an easy over in the win column. Jeez, I don't know what I did there. I started reading like a different answer. We will be an easy over in the win column. Hilton starts by the middle of the season. The D-line is a 7. Matthew Anderson, 10+ on Mason. I love it. Badger fan for life is at a 7. Wilhan, if they go 8-4, the quarterback was very good. The defensive front exceeded expectations. That's a great, I like this comment because it's almost like a flow chart, right? If you are to get to hear what things have to hit on the way, I think the quarterback has to be pretty good. Defensive line. I would add 2 more to this just off the top of my head. I love these type of like stream and conscious type of thoughts. If this is an 8-4 team, quarterback, defense line, yes, agree. Offense line has to stay healthy is the other wicket I would put in there. And I would say the young corners have to hold up. The A guards, the Hills, one of those freshman kids, Latimer. Maybe those guys aren't necessarily young when you talk Hill and Latimer, but those new cornerbacks have to hold up because we are playing some some monstrous skill positions this year. And you're not going to win all those battles, but you have to make them work a little bit. What Alabama did to us at the end of the first half last year, where they just decided they were going to go 80 yards in 40 seconds because they wanted to, it's got to be tighter than that. It can't be that easy for the really good offenses to move the ball against our boundary corners this year. Some of that's pass rush, 100%, but it almost felt like Bama, who didn't have a great quarterback. Jalen Milroe is fine. He's not exactly the type of guy who's going to thread needles through your sewing shop. You got to be able to be better on the edge. You have to compete a little bit better. So I think those are my 4 things off the top of my head, and I just went on a rant there. I apologize. Badger Pack says 8, talking about Mason. Geldon 9, Malone 9. Craig says Lance is a way more well-rounded tight end. Mark Benson, Mason easily better. I love it, man. Neza, Koziel was supposed to be a top 5 in America. He was, but I'm telling you right now, someone else told me this today, I think on the Discord, and they said, talking about the Badgers being better without Koziel's cope. It's a Locked On Liars take. And again, we're here for every disagreement. Disagreements are phenomenal. They're great. I love disagreements done respectfully. I just think Koziel is a type of thing that sounds great in concept. Big 6'7" guy, look at the production. But when you actually see it, and he kind of quits. Let's just call it what it is. It was too tough for him. That's not a guy you want in the trenches. It's not just from a culture standpoint, if he's not going to be able to make it through practice, you don't want him trying to block on the edge in Bryant-Denny. You don't want him trying to play against Iowa, because he's just going to quit then. It's going to really cost you. So again, this is the type of thing. It's like when you see pictures of great wings and you order them, and then you get like microwaved leftover wings. And you're like, this isn't what I ordered. I feel like that's the Tanner Koziel experience. Microwaved wings. Maybe. I don't know. We'll go with that. Speaking as a connoisseur of wings, I love wings. Evan says 7.5 was my number for defensive pressure. Got you. Oh, this is a good one. BPS, Badger Pack Sports. Confidence level, Tretch has a better year than Pauling. Guys, put your answers in the chat. Confidence level that Tretch is a better year than Pauling. Again, Pauling last year, a lot of drops, still relatively productive. Great route runner. Will Pauling, drops or not, was an elite route runner, an elite space creator. I'm going to put this at like a 4. I need to see it with Tretch. I think this is a guy who struggled a little bit with consistency, a little bit staying healthy. Hasn't shown a lot, to be honest, at least in the times I've been able to watch him in Platteville. I still think there's elite open space ability here. He's pretty explosive, but better year than Pauling last year, even with the drops. I'm going to put that as a 4, but I'm definitely curious where people are at on this. Will Ham says, me, Ryan Beaudragon, and Evan Malone would create more pressure than last year's defensive front. Oh, man. I think you're overselling me, man. I do think yourself, Bo, and Evan could get after some guys. I think you're overselling me. Doc says Mason will block his ass off, has a great hands, better all-around player. I agree 100%. And he's really impressed me, Doc. I think I actually expected some of the route running in the hands, because that's a lot of what he had on film. I expected him not to be as tough. I expected him not to want to stick his kind of face mask into a defensive end and block, but he's shown that too. I think it's a great comment. I agree completely. Confidence level. Here's my next one. Let's see if Jim Thompson says Tretch at 5.5. Tony Rivera says Sorry, I don't know why I called you Riviera. Tony Rivera says 1 on Tretch. Pauling was named captain. Yeah, I don't know if anybody saw that. Will Pauling was named one of Notre Dame's captains. I think that came out today. First of all, not really a shock. Will Pauling is a great dude, culture guy, locker room guy. We're a hard worker. Never an issue at Wisconsin. It's still impressive for a transfer receiver to go over to a place like Notre Dame and be named a captain his first year there. I think that speaks to his culture. He's a really, really good dude. Nathan says, I won't doubt Mason has more catches and targets than Tretch. And coach has Tretch at a 4. And Craig Fissel, Tretch doesn't consistently create separation in route running. Yeah. Oh, and Badger Pack Sports says swap Zach Bartz with Ryan, and you guys could. Yeah, Zach Bartz could get some pressure. If you guys haven't met Zach, great dude. Another one here. Okay. Confidence level on a second pass rusher stepping up. If we think that Mason Reiger is a guy, who is that second pass rusher, and what's your confidence level in that guy having 5+ sacks, let's say, whether it's a Peterson, a Cheeks, a Fearbry, a Suggs, a Christian Allegro, are you confident if we are saying, and we need to see it on the field, but if we are saying Reiger is a guy. Reiger's going to have 7, 8, 9 sacks. Does he have a Robin? Does Batman have a Robin this year? What's your confidence level in that, and who is it? Badger for Life says 6. Ryan says 4.5. Jason Gelden says 7. And who is it? Who is your guy's Batman? Is it Cheeks? Is it Allegro? I think to me the most obvious answer is Cheeks, who just gets unique bend around the edge. I think he's a guy who's going to beat some tackles. I think you could finish with 5 or 6 sacks. But maybe it's Allegro filling a role kind of like Cheney used to do, or like Orr used to do on those inside blitzes. Does need somebody. Allegro gets 5. Cheek steps up. Ty Thomas Harstick says 7 to 9. So is that like an 8? I don't know what that rating is. Evan says Fearby. Fearby looked good. Craig Fissel says Suggs will stuff the middle. Big help for Reiger. Guys, this has been a phenomenal show. You guys are great. I think we're going to wrap it there. We're at 35 minutes. We are going to, the plan, I'll share a little under the hood here. The plan is to do, well, let me share a little under the hood on a couple things. The plan is to do a live call-in show after every game this year. Not immediately, because we do the post-game reaction show, but I would like to do a Monday call-in show like this where people can call in and talk about the game too. So look for that to happen throughout this year. If not every Monday, most Mondays is going to be a live call-in show kind of like this. So if you want to call in, it'll be a little free-flowing, and it'll be great. And again, I say this a lot, but I say it because I mean it. This show is about getting the community together. It's about making it more fun to be a Badger fan. So this is never my opinion or your opinion. My opinion is higher. Like, no, this is collaborative. Come in and let's chop it up. That's 100% what this is always about. The other thing I'd say, and I don't know if people have ever caught this, Cougar, we're not doing a 3-hour show. Dude, I can't do a 3-hour show. I think I'd break down. Yeah, Bo's post-game reaction is my favorite podcast. I love it too. Bo, I absolutely love it. I love it. It is so, and I miss him, right? It's just this outpouring of grief or optimism or excitement or everything in between. I can't wait. I cannot wait for it. Coach, thanks for jumping on. He said, great show. Here's the other thing I'm going to throw out there quick. And I don't know if people notice this or not. There's something I don't ever really do in this show that, I mean, other podcasts can or can't. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't make this right or anything else wrong. I never purposely ask for, I never say like the show, subscribe to it, anything like that, right? I never do that. And I make a point to it because you're already giving me your time. And I don't want to, I feel like if we do good content, people will do that naturally. And people do. And I'm incredibly thankful for it and humbled by it. I do want to see if we can get to Penn State. So Penn State's got like 1,000 more subs than we do on YouTube. I think let's catch Penn State, right? I think that's a good goal. Let's catch Locked On Penn State. And I think let's make that a goal. Again, I don't want to ask. I'm not going to ask every show because I'm not going to waste your guys' time with that. But I think that's my goal right now. Let's catch Locked On Penn State and subs. So if you know somebody hasn't subbed, if you haven't subbed, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, share it. Again, I'll never really ask for it, but do it because we should be higher than Penn State, right? All right. Yes, and you are correct, Craig Fizzle. All of your guests wore shirts today. Not even one stain. I have a stain on my shirt. You just can't see it. All right, we're going to wrap it there on Wisconsin. Jim Thompson says, great time, Ryan, on Wisconsin. Thank you, Jim. And everyone else I didn't get to, I apologize, but really do appreciate it. Thank you on Wisconsin. Let's catch Penn State, and we will definitely talk a bunch of great content coming up with the season coming up. So we'll definitely talk tomorrow.